Good Monday morning, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room, a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where I hope you can follow me along on my journey. Oh, my goodness. We got so many people here in the chat already this morning. Great to see you guys. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did. My husband went to the coast with his daughter and granddaughter and her friend, and left me alone all weekend. And I loved it. I got so much done. They had a great time too. But good morning, everybody. Good morning. Okay. There's so much I want to show you guys. So first I'm going to start with what I got done this weekend. And then I'll get into some things that are new on the market that I want to show you guys. Very cool stuff here. One more. All right. So I was working on the shirt block for how to build a scarecrow last week. We left off on that on Friday, right? So probably making things harder than they have to be, which is my normal, right? I finally did get the buttons on. I didn't digitize buttons. I just used little circles. So the shirt block is finished. This is for How to Build a Scarecrow by Lori Holt. It's a quilt. And I'm doing it all with the embroidery machine using my Snapplique method. So I'm going to turn you guys around here a little bit. You can take a look at my design wall over there. And excuse me. All right. So there's all the other blocks right there. So those star blocks up there on the top, see those? We'll get into those just a little bit here. So there are 22 of those. I got 2 more finished. So I've only got 2 left to go. Very excited about that. I'm about ready to begin the the assembly process. That's always fun, right? Assembly is always fun. So the shirt block was finished and attached. The last one that I have to do is the hay bale and pumpkin block, and I assembled the background for the hay bale. Now, I ran into a bit of a problem with the hay bale. Y'all, it's early, excuse me. So the hay bale was supposed to have this fabric right here with the little squares was supposed to be the main part of the hay bale. And then another fabric was supposed to be up here at the top. I didn't have enough of that other fabric. Prim to the rescue. So what I chose for the hay bale main fabric was a piece of Prim, Lori Holt's Prim fabric. And the beauty about Lori Holt's fabric is, for the most part, they all kind of go together. They're on the same, I don't know the term, value, hue, something. But it works, right? I think it totally works. And I think it works better than the pattern, the original. So I'm very happy with this. And I think it'll blend into the rest of the quilt just fine. And it's not near a bunch of other yellow pieces that it would be any kind of like a stark spectrum. Maybe Catherine, I don't know. But they're all kind of on the same color scale, right? They're all, anyway. So then the baling wire was, I just put some heat and bond light on the back of that. And then that went down. Let me zoom in. I'll let the optical zoom do the work for me. I did a very tiny little zigzag to stitch that down. I did not want to go through the whole Snapplique thing for these 1/4-inch strips. I just wasn't there, because they'd have to go down prior to the pumpkin. The pumpkin will be Snapplique. If you're brand new, Snapplique is where I can take a paper pattern or like Lori Holt's simple shapes, scan them into the Brother Scan and Cut, and then create an embroidery design from those images that the Scan and Cut sees. So it's very, very cool to do, very fun, very easy. And I also spent time cutting out the pieces of the pumpkin. So those are done. I'm going to talk to you about this in a second too. And so these are going to go, whoop, I got occupational hazard, things hanging on me here. Right. So I think this is how this goes for this pumpkin. Anybody else in here making this quilt? Old-fashioned way or whatever. So here's the pumpkin, right? And then here is the leaf and the stem. So these are ready to be cut. That's good. Several weeks ago, one of you had, Allison, you're making it? And so is Kyle Lord. Good. Awesome. Awesome. So several weeks ago, one of you had talked to me about a new product from Heat and Bond called Heat and Bond Trico. And I ordered a bolt of it. So I wanted to talk to you about that. Okay. I did go ahead and use it. I used it on my pumpkin pieces. I did go ahead and use it. This is called Heat and Bond Fusible. It's a fusible interfacing. It is not Heat and Bond like what you put on the back of these fabrics to get them to, it's not an ironing assistant, right? I don't know what they call regular Heat and Bond. I'd have to look it up. So this stuff that's on the back of this fabric right here has paper on it. You peel the paper off and then you can iron your, so it's a double-sided fusible, okay? This stuff is a single-sided fusible, and I would actually equate it to Pellon's SF 101. That's what it's like, but it's a lighter weight, and I really, really like it. I do like this stuff. So here's, it's very sheer. See that? Let me grab, you guys can see the difference between the two. I've got the bolt right here in this drawer. Okay, so here's Pellon's SF 101. See how opaque that is? Okay, and here's Heat and Bond Trico, T-R-I-C-O-T, Trico. So look at the difference. You see the difference between them? Okay, you can almost see me through that one. I would, this has a heavier hand. I'm trying to think how to explain this. I'm sorry for the silence. This has a heavier hand than this. I don't know. I think it depends on, so I like to put SF 101 behind my light colored fabrics that are going to be on a dark background so that the dark background doesn't show through. You don't want trees and hillsides showing through the body of a snowman, right? When you're doing applique. So depending on the quality of the white fabric that you've got, there's some really nice white, like white on white fabrics that are pretty opaque, but you still might have dark fabric coming through them. I would use the Trico for that because it's got a lighter hand. The SF 101 is definitely going to make your white fabric very opaque so you don't see anything coming through, but it also is going to feel a little more stiff. So you've kind of got to decide. You could do 2 layers of this. Now, Trico is good for knits and t-shirts. Yes, if you're going to be making a t-shirt quilt, I would definitely use this stuff. Heat and Bond Trico would be my go-to for t-shirt quilts. I've done many t-shirt quilts, and you have to stabilize those t-shirt knits. Otherwise, they just get all ripply and everything. They're a mess when you go to, so how does it embroider? That I don't know because I haven't embroidered on it yet. But what I can tell you is this thing says that you need to iron this on for 10 to 15 seconds with a press cloth. And it means it with a very hot iron, because if you try to put this on the mat, okay, I've got it on the back of these pieces. And I went to pull it up and it pulled away from my fabric. So the tricot pulled away from the fabric, right? The heat and bond is still on the tricot. That was a good adhesion. So I've got a layer of the tricot, and then I've got the heat and bond on it, just like I would do with a piece of white fabric. So it didn't distort the pumpkin too badly. And then the next ones I pulled up, I got under them and I gave a good yank and I held onto it firmly and it pulled up just fine. But if you've got a bad adhesion, beware. So just FYI. Okay. So that's a new product that's on the market. I like it very much. And if you're going to be doing a t-shirt quilt, I absolutely recommend using that. It just has such a nice hand. It reminds me a lot of Pellon's 911F. That's what it reminds me of, which is a very lightweight sheer. You know, you could use this, in fact, in place of, is it by Sulky called Tender Touch? Okay, if you're going to do applique or something embroidery on baby garments and you want something soft, this would work great for that. Okay, so I do very much, I like it a lot. I have used 911F for all of that. Tender Touch is a little pricey. So this is that's a good product. I like it. Okay. Yeah, Rhonda used that lightweight Pellon fusible. That's that 911F. I've used that for years. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Dee Dee, got your power back. I was thinking about you this weekend, my friend. I was. I don't understand your question, Judy. How does Elon? Do you mean Pellon 987F? How does it what? I don't understand. You hit enter too soon. That happens to everybody on here. All the different stabilizers are very confusing, Wendy. You know, my advice, because you'll see people talking about them and going on and on. Find one that works for you and stick with it. That's fine. You know, and if you're comfortable with it and you're ready to venture out into another one, that's fine. Don't feel like you have to pick the exact, that kind of thing. Now, you brand new embroiderers, or even if you've been embroidering for a while, I do recommend this. Let me see if I have it here. This education is your best friend, y'all. Absolutely. Designs and Machine Embroidery. I got a link to their stuff below, not specifically this product. This is called the Embroiderer's Compass. See this? This is by far the best tool on the market to tell you what stabilizer and what needles and any other special stuff that you need to be able for every kind of fabric. So it's pretty cool. I thought I had one in here that was open already. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, so like up here on the top, it'll say terry cloth. Okay, here is velvet. These are weird ones on this side. Lycra spandex, silk charmeuse, nylon, gauze, bulky knits, lightweight knits, t-shirts, sheer fabrics, opaque. So it's got all of your fabrics listed out here on the wheel. And as you turn the wheel, your little window will tell you what stabilizer to use, what needles to use, and if there's any special instructions that you need to be able to do that. This is Deborah Jones from Designs and Machine Embroidery, and she is a pioneer in the home embroidery industry. And this thing is some of the best. I see people all the time on Facebook, you know, what stabilizer should I use for blah, blah, blah. And I think, get a compass. Get a compass. I've reached for that thing for 12 years. You know, been doing it forever. So, all right. So, talked about heat and bond tricot. Good, good. Oh, I got my other two blocks done this weekend. There's my other two star blocks. Yay. I've got 2 left. 21 and 22 are the last 2 to do. So I do see me getting all of the pieces ready for assembly. I leave on Wednesday for Colorado Springs. So I'll be gone almost a week. I'll talk to you guys every day. You don't have to worry about that. But I see me getting it ready. I don't know if I'll get it all done. So yeah, that's from Designs and Machine Embroidery. I'll put a link to it below when we get done for that compass. You will reach for that over and over and over. You know, most of the time when we're doing embroidery, I'm just using like a cutaway mesh as a background for whatever it is I'm going to be working on, quilt blocks or anything like that. But when you've got weird stuff or somebody says, hey, can you put my name on a backpack, right? Well, you want to go in and look at the nylon and see, it's stiff, that kind of, and it'll tell you. Somebody asked, what kind of stabilizer do I need to embroider my grandchild's backpack this weekend on the Facebook group? So it's just very handy to have that. Am I doing the Lori Holt snowman quilt? Right now, Pamela, that is not on my calendar. Not right now. I got a lot going on. I am making a quilt. The Fat Quarter Shop is coming out with another Jolly Bar book. Yay! And I just got my fabric for that. So I'm waiting on the book to show up. So I'm excited to get that started. The fabric I chose is just so fun, and I can't wait to cut into it. But I have to wait. So will you meet Callie? I hope so. Either that or I usually sleep in her room and she moves in with her brothers, So, or I'll set up, I don't know, I'll have to set up wherever the sewing machine is. All right. And then Mary Coy. Mary comes in here quite a bit. She sent me this new product on the market. It is a 505 glue stick. I did link this below the video. It's a temporary adhesive stick. Now, we all have seen 505 on the shelves at Walmart, right? It's very sticky. It works really well. It's really expensive. Okay. So I just went and looked at Amazon. They're like $20 for this stick. That's crazy. Crazy. But it doesn't spray everywhere. And I think it will last like a year or more. As much as I use this applique for applique. So like for our, I know this thing looks amazing. I've got a link to it right below the video, right? You hit description box, more, ... click that and it opened up. And it's right underneath the current coupon for Embrilliance. Embrilliance has a 10% off coupon good through the 24th of this month. So I opened the box. She sent this to me and I opened the box and I went, ooh, I can't wait to play with that. So these are great because if you've got to go to like a retreat or you're going to be doing something on the road or whatever, here you go. At our Sew Together RV rally that we're doing in September in El Campo, Texas, we can't have irons on the table because the electricity can't support. It can support all the machines that are going to be on the tables, but they can't support the irons. The irons are the problem. So everybody's going to have a glue stick, not this kind. I'm not $20 glue stick, but they've been told to bring glue sticks. Now we will have an ironing station. So a new toy. Yeah. Yay. I love it. Yay. So, I think they're great. So I'm looking forward to trying that. Thank you very much, Mary, for sending me that so I could share it with everybody. Okay. And then I also I ordered a bolt of the Pellon 988. This is, you go to Joann's, they have them like half off at their Pellon products. Very, very thin fleece. It is not fusible. 987F. If it has an F in the number, it is fusible. Without an F, it is not. And this is the exact same stuff without the fusible on the back that I had of the 987. This stuff is fantastic inside of placemats and table runners because it's got a very, very low loft and you can put glasses on it and they're not going to wobble, which I really, really like. So I got this whole bolt in And I will start putting it into also my, like the Happy Halloween quilt that was a quilt as you go. So it already had batting in the hoop, and I just need a thin layer of something in between. Okay. The all of the blocks and the backing. I would put this inside of Christmas tree skirts from Designs by Juju. I would just I would do it. It's great. So it's very cuddly. Oh, Terry says that 505 stick works brilliantly. Good, good. That's great to hear. I appreciate the review on that. So yeah, they're not inexpensive. It's not like an Elmer's, okay? But it's 505. So I like that. Oh, for you scan and cut folks, I got to tell you something. My 24-inch scan and cut mat I assumed was at end of life. Okay. Long since lost its sticky. I had zigged it once, and zig is a glue that you can use to restick your scan and cut mats. Zig. Okay. Amazon store. It's in my Amazon store. And I need to put that 505 in my Amazon store while I'm thinking of it. So I had already gone through the process of, once your mat loses its sticky, you can really get it clean with some LA's Totally Awesome from the dollar store. That will get it very clean. And then when it just doesn't have any sticky to it anymore, you can zig it. And I assumed that zigging it would be end of life once it was no longer sticky. You guys, I use my cutting mats probably every day, if not every day, every other day for sure. So anyway, I thought, what could go, what have I got to lose? That's the point where I was at with this mat. So I went ahead and put Totally Awesome all over it, because Totally Awesome will remove adhesive. Okay. Sprayed it all over it, let it sit for a couple minutes, took a scraper to it, took my scraper to it and scraped all of the Totally Awesome. And when you spray Totally Awesome on a zigged mat, it turns blue back to its original wet, gluey self, right? So I scraped it all off. And then I took after it with some Dawn dishwashing liquid and a scrub mommy. And I really, those are $5.99 at So Yeah. That's awesome, Candace. Hopefully it's the shipping is very reasonable as well. So yeah, they're probably ripping you off on Amazon. Anyway, I took the Dawn dishwashing liquid to it and the scrub mommy and really, really got in there and zigged it again. And it works as good, better than new. I cut the pumpkins on it yesterday. Yep. I love it. And it is sticky. Yay. So that's just really, I was very, very pleased to see that. Again, I was at the point of, it ain't going to hurt it, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And this is at end of life anyway. So I was very happy to have that. So yeah, the Dawn does work great on the mats here. Anna, is it Anna? Yeah, Anna. I can't. Anna, you're the one making the frogs that are all over the Facebook group. They're precious. I love them. So that's good to know, that we can refresh our mats. I'm really excited to have gotten that done. Okie dokie. And then another thing I got done this weekend, what did I do with it? I just had it. I turned it around. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. Good thing it's not a snake. Block 2 of the Designer Mystery Block of the Month from the Fat Quarter Shop came in, and I got all of that cut. So I'll put that together. Yeah, I love the frogs too. They're precious. Oh, Candace, we're all looking at them going, oh, she's using the cutest. We have a private Power Tools with Thread Facebook group. If you're not a member, please join. We have a good time in there. Okay, so I got in the new Perfectly Pieced box from Me Time. Me Time is me, machine embroidery time. So Perfectly Pieced, it's an in the hoop, obviously, because it's embroidery, but you can make quilt blocks with it. And this one is so cute, you guys, that it came in. This is for July 2024. And such pretty, pretty soft fabrics. Look at this. Pretty, pretty fabrics. Let me pull this to the side so I can show y'all. Beautiful green with the leaves. And look at the lemons. Aren't they cute? So pretty. And a pretty soft aqua geometric pattern. Okay. So that came in the box, and I love it. They send you fabric and everything. Okay. And then these are, they look like 4x6. Are they 4x6? I don't know how big these are, but you got little different colors of fabrics. Everything is soft and light yellowy. Very, very pretty stuff. Okay. I wish I knew the name of the line. And a spool of glide thread in the soft yellow, and a perfectly pieced USB stick. Very nice. And then, well, there you are, Frito. We've been waiting for you. She's occupied with the girls that are here. There you are. Are you looking for your goldfish? Frito just popped through the door. There she is, hiding behind the pylon. What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, come here. There you go, sweet girl. Yeah, you heard me talking. You said, oh, I missed the call. Good girl. Don't chew with your mouth open. Okay. Oh, my goodness. The girls are giving her lots of Frito belly rubs. She's just loving them, having them here. So the pattern that you're supposed to make in the hoop on this one is, it's a lemon wedge. It's adorable. And look, you want to make the 4x4 project, you can make a little mug rug, a little lemon mug rug, or you can do a strip of them. You can make a pillow cover or whatever. So very, very cute. So they did a bunch of different color lemon rind as a sample for your pillow. So I'm going to take this with me to Colorado Springs, and my granddaughter and I are going to make the little don't distract me. I'm looking at y'all's comments. So I thought a little lemon wedge mug rug would be a perfect starter project for her, right? So it'll be fun. We can make a couple of them. We'll have enough fabric to make a couple. Everybody can make a lemon wedge. So, because I'm sure her brothers are going to want to get in on that too. That'll be fun. And I'll give her the perfectly pieced USB and the whole 9 yards. And it all came in one little kit. So that's something we can do together. If you guys are interested in getting this, it is a monthly subscription. Yeah. And it's awesome. You're going to get high quality products in order to do that. I've got it linked below in the description box. So, okay. Perfectly pieced. So that's going in my luggage. I shipped 2 boxes of goodies yesterday over at UPS up to Colorado. It should get there Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but it should get there when I do. I know, Patty, she says that would be a great project. I like little projects like that, small, and it'd be great. A good one to start with for embroidery for her. So she can start and get the feel of how the machine functions, and what to expect, the strange noises that it makes, all of that, how they behave. I think that's a good one. So where is the description box? Mary, there is underneath your video there. It might say more and ... right under the video, and you tap on that, and then there'll be a bunch of stuff that comes up that is that's what YouTube calls the description box. So if you're watching on a TV, you've got to look at it probably on a phone or a tablet. That's where you see them. So it uses stabilizer, a lot of stabilizer, Wendy. Well, yeah. If you're making a whole bunch of blocks to do one thing, yeah, that's the downfall of embroidery. So, alrighty. And then, so I wanted to work with you guys this morning on the on Wander Lane August mini. So I have got, we're going to do Sunflower Slope. I can hear the girls outside. All right. So we're going to do Sunflower Slope. And this is from the On Wander Lane series by Art to Heart for Nancy Halverson. Somebody's coming in the door. I can hear my husband trying to get in the electric door lock. There he goes. I told everybody you're coming in. Oh, there's the granddaughter. Say hi to everybody. That's Lyric. That's her friend Miley. There's the daughter, Carrie. Hi.
And the boss.
And the boss. They're all here. See? Everybody's all saying hi. Yeah.
I'm not.
So they're getting ready to leave in a little bit. Y'all don't leave before I get done, okay? I get done at 8. Are you fixing to go?
No, they're leaving now.
Oh, you're leaving now? Oh, you're leaving now? Okay. I got to say bye to my family. Okay. Bye, guys. Be good. Love you. Whoa. You guys drive safe, okay? Bye. Bye. Had a great time. Bye. Yeah, it's Miley. All right. Bye, sweetie. Thank you for the pictures. Everybody's saying hello and goodbye.
Bye, ladies.
They're heading back to North Texas. So all the way up to Vernon. Yeah. Would you close that door behind you, Miley? Thank you, sweetie. Family. Bing, 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 bing. It makes you crazy. They've got a pretty long, oh, that door isn't shut yet, is? Yeah, my front door's shut. So anyway, yeah. So they'll go around the other side to go ahead and head out. But that was nice of Keith to bring them in, wasn't it? Okay, so on Wander Lane, Sunflower Slope. I got a lot of embroiderers that watch me. If you're a quilter, you're probably very familiar with this series. Okay, each month has a different house on Wander Lane. And this is August, and they call it Sunflower Slope. Now, what you get in the whole pattern, you get a big folded up pattern thing full of all your shapes and whatnot. And it will make a nice big 30 by 30 wall hanging. Okay. You can get a couple of different pot holders. You'll get some mini quilts and smaller quilts, stuff for a pillow, all kinds of stuff that you can make in here. It's all applique and they're very fun. Great, great patterns. Yeah. Keith is walking great. Yeah, he is. Yes. Thank you for asking about that. Yeah. So I started this series in February. I think it was, or was it April? I can't remember. It's February, the two little lovebirds. And then when you get, if you get all 12 of these, and I've got those in the description box as well. When you get all 12 of these center blocks, see the center house block in that quilt? Okay. You can take all 12 houses and put them together into a big On Wander Lane quilt. Has anybody here made that? Because that thing's a beast. So if you did, congratulations. That's really, really nice. I love that. But there's another quilt shop that is doing a monthly subscription to making one, you know, their little mini quilts that are in here. And so for about $30-ish, you can buy, you'll get pre-cut laser applique pieces. And then you also have to buy the pattern book. Well, you got to buy the pattern book regardless. Okay. So I saw that and I was like, I'm not buying pre-cut applique pieces. I have a scan and cut, right? Okay. So in the pattern, you get, this is the way it comes. You get a big sheet, all right? They're not all like this. Depends on how you, the format that you get it in. You could get the download or whatever. So you get all of this and you'll have, where's my cat? So there's the design layout for the cat in the flowers mini right there. And then on the back, there's the pieces. Okay. Well, you got to remember that these are mirrored. Okay, because the idea is that you are going to put a piece of like heat and bond light over it and trace around the pieces and then iron that to the back of fabrics. That is the idea. Well, so I will mirror them in canvas is what I will do. Okay, I know the cat is so cute. So cute. So because I have this big ginormous sheet, I folded this into an 8.5 by 11 shape. And then I made a copy. Okay. So that's what I did. I just made a copy of this. So there's my pattern pieces. Because you can't scan this into the scan. You can try, but the issue with scanning this big paper is that my scan and cut scans at 900 dots per inch. So it's got a deep, clear, it's going to see everything. So the odds of it seeing the back of, or the back side of the paper are pretty high. My printer scans at 300 dots per inch. So it's not going to see through the paper as much. Does that make sense? Right. So that's how I got this, a nice clean scan. Okay. If I scanned this, I'd probably get the back side. So you just got to kind of give it a try. If it works scanning this in the scanning mat and it works, then great. Let me stop rattling that paper. All right. So I want to get this scanned in. Let me turn on my scan and cut. Let me see. So I have this 12-inch scanning mat I'm going to use. Okay. And just pop this in here. I just turned it on. So if you've got a scan and cut, get it out of the box. If you haven't done that yet, they're fun to play with. So Frito, go do that somewhere else, please. She's making all kinds of noises. Alrighty. Poor Frito. Can't be a dog. Not on camera, Frito. All right. I'm going to load my mat. There's a load the mat button right here on the front. All right. Mat's loaded. Here we go. All right. So on the main screen, we have pattern and scan. Pattern are patterns that were in the machine when you bought it, and scan is what I'm after right now because I want to take a picture. I want it to see those images. So I'm going to hit scan, and I'm going to turn these into cut files. So scan to cut data, and that's going to give me the vector graphic. Now I'm set right now for a 12 by 24 on black and white. I'm going to go to my little wrench, and I'm just going to tap that, and I want it to be the 12 by 12 and tell it okay. And I think the black and white is going to work fine. I think. If not, then I'll do it again with color, but I'm just going to tell it start. Okay. And it's going to pull it in and take a picture of what it sees. What does it see? Now, if you're going to get a scan and cut scanning mat, you can either get the 12 by 12 or a 12 by 24. Not all scan and cuts will scan a 24-inch mat. So you need to make sure you've got a machine that will scan a 24. I think all of them will cut on a 24, but not scan a 24. So make sure of that. I think anything below the 225 and up will scan a 24-inch mat. And then all of the mats have little things down here to give you different sizes. They have a little chart that will tell you what size it will scan if you want to do that. All right, let's see what we got. The name of the pattern with the glitter HTV flamingo umbrella and lemonade. Are you talking about the Kimberbell August mini quilt? Okay. So let's look at this. I don't need anything on, there's nothing on the inside of these shapes, like a letter that has an opening in it, like an O or a B or anything like that. So I just need the outside of this, all of these shapes. So you can choose outside only, inside, outside, which is what you would do if there was a hole, and then regions. So I'm just going to choose outside only. So that's what I'm telling it I want it to see. Okay. And it sees the edge of the paper and all that and these little letters. That's okay. We're going to clean all that up in Brother Canvas. And I'm going to tell it, okay. I could resize that if I wanted to. And now where do I want to save it? In the machine, to the cloud, or to a USB? I want to save it to the cloud. You can save it to a USB, or you might be cabled to your computer. And then you could, if you've got the downloadable version of Canvas. Okay. But I don't use that. So I'm finished. I'm going to leave it as is right there. And then we'll go to Canvas and take a look at this. Okay. What did I do with my mouse? I moved all this stuff around when I was moving things around here. Where are the digital files available, Peggy? I don't. Gloria Horn's Sewing Studio might have the digital files for this. They have permission, I think. Is it the On Wander Lane? Yes. Okay. Anne wants to know if the Scan and Cut works with Vernia software. So the Scan and Cut is standalone. It doesn't matter what kind of embroidery software you have. If your embroidery software has the ability to import vector graphics like SVG files or FCM files, then you can use it. Yes. Okay. I know Vernia does. I know that Vernia software does have that ability. Yeah, Gloria Horn. Yeah, that's who's got those digital files. I think they're like $80. Peggy. Scan the page. I know you have a Scan and Cut. I know you do. Alrighty, so I need to go out to Brother Canvas on the internet. Let me get there. And let's see what we got. I'll show you guys how simple this is. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. There we go. Let's see what we got. All right, so I'm going to log in. And it doesn't, you can say remember me. It never does. It's fine. Okay. Go to my projects. And there's my cat right there. Awesome. So you can edit or you can download. I'm not ready to download yet. I've got to clean this up. So I'm going to click on edit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the pieces I want to keep and pull them off the mat. Now this little leaf right here has got a smudge through it or something, but it's identical to all these other leaves. So I will just make another one of those. So what I'm going to do is grab as many pieces as possible that I want to keep and move them off the mat. Let me get my circles, my cat and leaves. Oh, I didn't get all my leaves. Hold on. All right. That other leaf has issues, so I'm not going to get that one, but I'll make another one. And now all I need to do, I'm going to start up in the top corner. I'm going to drag my cursor all the way over the whole mat, and I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. And then I'm going to move everything back on the mat. Just grab it, pull it all back on there. There we go. I need one more leaf. So right click and copy, or I just duplicate there. So there's that leaf that didn't make it. It had a smudge. Now I want to reverse all of these, okay? Because I'm going to be cutting pretty side up. So I'm going to highlight all of them. And the reason I highlight all of them, if I go to edit right up here, the edit tab, see how my flip, it's grayed out. It won't work. It won't do it on multiple objects at one time. So if I highlight them all and I go right click and group, now they're one object. Now when I go to edit, I can flip horizontally. There we go. That looks good. Let me turn these all around. Doesn't matter. All right. So now, that's not, I want those kind of straight. Right click and ungroup. Don't forget to do that. Okay. Now I have a 24-inch mat. So even though I could scan in the whole page on the 12-inch mat, now I want to cut them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is separate my pieces by color. So I'm going to come up to the project tab and I'm going to change my mat to 12 by 24. So now I've got this big mat. All right. I'm going to take my cat and move it down here near the bottom to give me some space. Okay. The small flower and a big flower are cut from the same fabric. And I'm trying to remember. Let me look here. Two of the centers, the small and the big, are cut from the same fabric. Okay. Let me see. What am I looking at? I got to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the two big flowers are cut from the same fabric. The small flower is cut from a separate fabric. And then the pot is its own fabric. And then the leaves, we have two leaves are from one fabric. And then the 3 leaves are from another. All right. So these don't have to be these far apart. I like to have a little space between them so that I've got room for the fabrics to go down. Okay. And then the centers of the flower. Yeah. One of the large centers is a separate fabric. Okay. I'm going to put that down here. This looks pretty good. It doesn't have to be exact right now. All right. So I'm going to change the title of it to OWL on Wander Lane dash cat. Okay, so I know that's the cat block. And I'm going to come to the project tab and just click the little inbox with a plus sign. And I've saved it now for the On Wander Lane cat. I need to download it. So I'm going to download, hit this obscenely large download button. And I can download it to the computer. This also works on a Mac. Okay. And then I'm going to download it to the Scan and Cut. And it'll say Scan and Cut transfers ready. That's awesome. Okay, I'm finished with Canvas. So that's pretty cool. All right. Very neat, right? Very neat. So what was that comment? Let's see. Okay. This is very, very handy if you are cutting lots and lots of multiples. Okay. You can duplicate them. You can make 2 into 4, 4 into 8. If you're doing lots of leaves and all that kind of stuff, very, very handy. All right. How much memory does the Scan and Cut 325 have? I don't know. I don't save a lot in the machine. I either save in Canvas or save to USB. So I don't know. All right. So that's cool. Now, let me eject this. Tell it okay. And I'm going to go back to home. And it says, is it okay to delete all the patterns? This is where people get nervous. Is it okay to delete all the patterns? I'm going to tell it yes, because we saved everything in the Canvas cloud. And that was the scanning portion. Now we're going to get to the cut portion. All right. So I need my newly revived mat. Let me back this up. Now I love this because I don't have to remember where everything was on the mat in the canvas. I'm going to put my mat right here. Let me move my mouse out of the way. No, Amy. So Amy says Canvas is already loaded on the scan and cut, right? No, ma'am. Canvas is a separate software or there's two versions of Canvas. There's the online version, and you can use either one of them. Okay, doesn't matter which. The one that's downloaded is great if you are in an area with spotty internet, or you're in an internet desert, or you might be on a cruise ship and you're taking a class and there's no internet on that. Then you can directly talk back and forth. I think it's Bluetooth between your laptop and your scan and cut. The online one I just find is easier, and I can share my screen with you anyway. So, but it's not loaded on here. It is simply a graphic program for you to be able to play with whatever it was that the scan and cut saw. You can do everything I just did on this little bitty screen, but that's miserable. You don't want to do that. I'm going to pull this off. Okay. Now I'm not going to share my screen with you guys, but I am going to, well, I'll add this back to the stage. So I'm going to look and see where everything was. All right. So my little pot. All right. I got all my fabrics. They've got heat and bond light on the back of them already. Okay. I'll make sure you guys can see that. So I've already got all my fabrics cut. What I did was I just took my ruler and held it on top of that sheet. I took my little ruler and held it over the paper to get the measurement of what size fabric I needed. Okay. Or you can click on the piece in Canvas and it'll tell you the dimensions. All right. See? So the red is the little pot. And the way I do my heat and bond light, you guys, is I just pull out a piece of heat and bond light and I barely cover with a few threads so there's no adhesive showing through, and then I iron all my pieces on at one time because I'm lazy. All right, so let me get these off. Here's the little pot. This is On Wander Lane's 2, I think, fabric line and whisper weave. Okay, so I can tell that the pot, oh, you're welcome, Amy. I appreciate you asking stuff like that, because if you're wondering it, so is somebody else. Okay. So these mats are not bi-directional. It's got an arrow that tells you where the top is. So I'm just going to put my pot fabric right up here. I'm going to lay it down very lightly because it's brand new zig, right? And then the two dark leaves are right there. And that's this dark green fabric. This is so fun. This is like playing puzzles. I love it. Okay, I put my dark green fabric right here. And then my other 3 leaves are down below that. So it doesn't have to be exact because we're going to take a picture of the mat and then cut stuff. Okay, that single flower is the small one, and that is this fabric right here, the lighter yellow. I'm going to put that approximately right there. And then the other 2 flowers is this yellow fabric right below it. And let me scroll the mat so I can see where stuff is. Okay. The cat is down here at the bottom. And the cat is kind of on this. The fabric for the cat is a little diagonal in the picture. So I'm going to make mine diagonal. Which way? Make my stripes go in this way, so that they're not straight on for the cat. Okay. And then these are my flower centers. And the 2 flower centers are right up here. Whoop, I got a little piece left. Now, if your stuff's not sticking real well, use some paper tape, scotch tape, whatever. You can do that. And then here's that other flower center. Okay. This is just approximate. It's not exact, and that's okay. I'm going to put this back into the machine. I'm not going to bray it, but I don't want them to lift up. You got to make sure your heating bond is on really good, or it will come off on the mat. And then you'll have a hot mess. I'm going to put this back in here. There's two little ledges on either side. You want that in there firmly, right up against that black roller. And I'm going to hit the load button. Okay. All right. So now, even if you don't do the embroidery part of this, you'll want the scan and cut to cut out applique pieces, you guys. You would just love it, love it, love it. So remember I told you pattern or patterns that were in the machine when you bought it, right? Okay. And scan. We've already done the scan part. So now I want to retrieve data. There's a button here that says retrieve data. And that's what I want to do. Where do I want to get it from? I can get it from inside the machine, from the cloud, from a USB, or from the computer. I want to get it from the cloud because that's where I was working with it. And it will pull down the very last thing that you had, that you sent down. So you don't feel like you can send a bunch of stuff down at one time because that doesn't work. Okay. It's almost time to go, you guys. Let me stop that. Okay. So there's all the shapes. And all I'm going to do now, this is right here. This is what I call the money button for scan and cut. It's a blue box with a bar across it. And it's going to scan the mat. So I'm just going to tap that until it starts. And it's going to pull the mat in and take a picture of what it sees. You cannot do this with a Cricut or a Silhouette. I'm out of coffee in that one. I have a spare coffee. Yay. Yes, it is a godsend, Michelle. You're absolutely right. Thank you very much, brother engineers. You do not have to have a brother embroidery machine to do this process, okay? So this is why I got approximate. It doesn't have to be exact. I've got a link below to McQueeney Sewing. If you want to get a scan and cut, he's got a great deal on them. And you use promo code PTWT and he will send you, or Power Tools, whatever you want, and he will send you a free tote bag right along with it from Power Tools with Thread. So now all I have to do is move my pieces into the fabric where I want them. So they don't have to be exact. It's very handy. It does help to group the like shapes that are going to go on the same fabric. You don't have to. Okay. Now, let me move this down. Move my cat. That looks good. That last flower is going to give me fits. There we go. It's going to jump. So that's there. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. That'll look good. I'm going to this guy a little closer to his buddy. Okay. Tell it okay. You want a little bit of room around the outside so that everything grips to the mat and stays there. Tell it okay and select and cut and start. Okay. It says it's going to take 6 minutes. I don't know that it is. Yeah, go get ready for work, Cindy. You guys have a wonderful day. You can watch the rest of this when you get home. So this is a rotary cutting blade for the scan and cut. It's designed to cut fabric. It goes up and down a lot. And I don't know the technology behind it, but I suspect as graphics are made on these images, they get what are called nodes on them, and it's cutting between each little node. I think that's what that is. I think. I've been thinking about that because that's what I do. I think about stuff like that. So right now it's doing a bunch of cutting on those flowers. I wanted to get done with one so I can pull it up so you guys can see how good it did, and then you can go to work. Yeah. Now, the other blade that it comes with, so the rotary blade is not standard with the machine. Whenever you get a machine, you'll get usually a purple mat, which is standard tack, and you might get a low tack mat, which is the aqua color. Okay, so this one was done. Let me show you. Oh, it didn't do that other one yet, but it did the first flower. So that's cool. Put that back. So I don't want that to get cut. So look at that. That turned out perfect. You also don't get fraying. This is really nice. Doesn't fray. So how long will the blade last before it goes dull? Gifts HQ. I have used my blades. So the blade that comes with the machine, it has a holder and it has a tiny little blade in there. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the blade that comes with the machine, okay? And in here, that's, I don't know if you can see it. There's a tiny little blade there. So what Brother has done is they have made it so that you can unscrew this. See that blade? In here, in your little spatula, there is a piece of foam, and you can stick that on there. And you can pull the blade out, just like that. So you don't have to touch it. Isn't that nice? So you can replace just the blade. I have used one of these blades, and I use my Scan and Cut, like I said, every day, every other day. It depends on what you're cutting, obviously. I cut quilting cottons for the most part, and a year, right? But you can buy just the blades. So that's very nice. You don't have to buy the blade holder if you don't need one. So a year. You had no idea about the foam? Yeah, isn't that cool? Well, it prevents you from getting your fingers, you don't want to touch that blade. I'm just hoping I put that yellow fabric back in the right spot. If not, I'll cut another one. It looks like I did. Yeah, it looks like I did. So you're welcome, ML Weber. Yeah. Yes, I saw that video too. So Lisa Shaw, she's an educator for Brilliance embroidery software. And she was talking about how Stitch Artist 3 cleans up the nodes, right? And as these graphics are created, they get nodes. I don't know. It's a graphic thing. And those nodes can create problems when they are moved around or whatever. They can make it so that it's not a whole shape. And in Brilliant Stitch Artist 3 has the reconstruct outline feature in its menus, and it just puts all that together perfectly. So did it do that one? It didn't. I'm anxious. I want to pull it off the mat. I need to be patient. Is the rotary blade in my Amazon shop? Yes, Lynn, it sure is. Sure is. Yeah, you can also get the rotary blade at McQueen's, any brother dealer that sells Scan and Cuts. I just started using the rotary blade. For years, I've been using the straight blade. But I like the way the rotary blade, unlike the straight blade, it doesn't drag through the fabric. Okay. So you get a much cleaner cut because it's a wheel that's turning like a pizza wheel, right? And you're getting a nice clean cut in there. So you got your blade kit in yesterday, Allison. Excellent. Your rotary blade. You'll like it. Simple to install. Take out one, put in the other. It just fits perfectly. We're done. Yay, we're done. Let me eject the mat. Well, let me not eject the mat. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't think. Let's see. Let's see. Does it need a special holder? No. So, like I said, the rotary blade right here, let me show you. So right here, it just in and out. Just like that. Exactly the same as this one. Just like that. It is a different type of what they call a holder. This holder is different from this holder, right? And I think you can buy just brand new rotary blades as well. I think you can get them separately. Okay, so let's see what we got. 2 leaves, 2 dark leaves. Oh, didn't get through the pot. I've got a tiny little bit there. I'll get that with scissors. All right, 3 light leaves. There's our little flower. Okay. There's our 2 centers. There's my other yellow flower. There's my other orange center. There's my cat. Yay! I have got, where's my scissors? It's like one thread that did not cut right there. Just one little tiny thread. So, which is fine, not a big deal. So my pieces are cut, so we'll stitch these on tomorrow. Very cool. All right. Awesome. Yay. Isn't this awesome? Yeah, you're getting bonus Becky time story time. I know. But anyway, so that's how easy it is to cut from a paper pattern. I've created all of my shapes. Isn't that great? No inflate required, okay, because I created the shape in the Scan and Cut myself. So no inflate required. The size of the design from the paper pattern is the size of the shape, is the size of the embroidery design, or it will be. We're not doing any kind of inflate. Do I recommend you buy extras with the scan? Oh, what do I recommend you buy as extras with the Scan and Cut? A scanning mat for sure. Okay. A scanning mat. And depending on, if you're a serious quilter like I am and you cut a lot of stuff, I do like the bigger mats. They're more expensive. So what you get in the box is a 12-inch mat, and you've got to look and see whether it's the low tack or the standard. Okay. So a scanning mat for sure. I have, like I showed you before, the 12-inch scanning mat. If you can only get one, and you can, if you can get your hands on it, get the 24-inch scanning mat. Okay. I like the 24 because, like I was showing you earlier, it's got a little chart at the bottom where if you only want to scan, you know, an 8.5 by 11 sheet, then you can tell it, let's see, which one would that be? Here's the letter, number B is 8.5 by 11. And you can tell it, don't scan the whole mat, just scan part of it. So when I went in and I changed it from the 24-inch scanning mat to the 12-inch, there were all those options. And those options correspond to the little chart here at the bottom. It's pretty cool. So that way you can always scan multiple pages at one time. Okay. It's not $20. Quilt Shop. Yeah, well, it's $20 on Amazon, Celia. It's terrible. So I need to change out that link. You guys shop at your quilt shops first, please. Okay. So if I can find, yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. This has been fun. It was great to discover that I could renew the life of my mat. I was so happy about that. So this has been great. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I hope it motivates you to get into your sewing room and get some stitching done. Okay. There's a UFO calling your name, or a project that you're currently working on. As soon as I get done here, I'm going to jump over and do one more of the pieced star blocks for how to build a scarecrow. All right. All right. I am out of here. I'll talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.